Hey, I'm Kelly. My friends and family would describe me as positive and adventurous and really a go-getter. When I came home from that trip, I felt run down. Maybe I got food poisoning, I had a really bad stomach ache, and uh, that was the very first symptoms. The first thing I felt was like, this can't be happening. Like, the doctor even said that I didn't have cancer, but obviously I knew it wasn't a mistake. I was having these stomach aches, like really bad stomach pain. And my husband's a doctor, and he gave me some medicine, pantoprazole, to take, and just, he was like, it's going to take a little while for it to work. And so I was taking it, but my stomach aches were getting worse. And then I started getting these other symptoms, and they were symptoms having to do with the liver. So I was getting like this really, really intense itching, like itching sores into my skin. And I was feeling really just tired and foggy. I was getting jaundice, so my eyes were turning yellow. I was turning yellow, and I was feeling really just like awful. So I talked to and my husband was helping me. And I didn't have a primary care doctor at the time because my doctor had retired and I was switching doctors. So I was kind of using my husband, but it's weird. Um, and he ordered an MRI of my liver to see what was going on, why I was getting these jaundice symptoms. And it showed that there was a blockage in my liver, in my bile duct. And so they couldn't tell if it was like gallstones or what was happening, but there was something happening. So we scheduled an endoscopy appointment. And in that surgery, the doctor opened up my bile duct with a balloon, like kind of enlarged it. He sent it to the lab and it came back inconclusive. So it wasn't cancer, or they couldn't tell. So then I went to another. Oh, he put a stent in, so to open it up my bile duct, and then he referred me to a different specialist. And there's only one guy in the state of Utah that does this type of surgery, and he was looking specifically for cancer. And so it was another endoscopy procedure, uh, and that showed no cancer. He was like 95% sure you don't have cancer. So I felt really good leaving that appointment and was like, okay, it's not cancer, so it's just some whatever, gallstones or whatever. And then my stent got infected, and I had to go in for a third surgery with the first surgeon. And when he went back in, this surgeon just had a hunch that he didn't like what he was seeing. And he took some more brushings while he took the stent out. And then I didn't hear anything for a little while because it took a while for the lab, and I felt so much better because my stent wasn't infected anymore, and my bile duct was open, and the symptoms were all going away. And I was like, awesome. Okay. So that wasn't cancer. That was just like some weird, random thing that I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know. And then I was packing for a trip it was spring break. I was packing for a trip, and it was Friday night. We're leaving Saturday morning, first thing in the morning. And I look at my phone and something comes across the portal, from the portal. And I'm like, oh, okay. So there's I'll just look at that. I opened it up, and right on the screen, it said cholangiocarcinoma. And I couldn't even talk. I couldn't even tell anybody. So I screenshotted it to my sister and sent it to her, and I was just like, look at your phone. The first thing I felt was like, this can't be happening. Like, the doctor even said that I didn't have cancer. And he was like a specialist, that's all he does, that's all he looks for. So it must be a mistake, but obviously I knew it wasn't a mistake. I went downstairs and showed my husband my phone as well. Again, couldn't even say the words, just showed him my phone. And we just kind of had this like, oh my God moment. Like, hang on, our lives are going to change. I don't have any family history of cancer and nothing. So I was really shocked that it actually was cancer, that I had cancer too, because I am a super healthy person. While we were on the trip, my husband is, since he's a physician, he has a lot of connections. So he was making phone calls with different doctors. He was calling like the best of the best of, okay, would you do a robotic procedure? And there was no doubt I was going to get this procedure called the Whipple procedure. And it's a procedure that they take various organs. So the bile duct, the liver, they take pieces of all of them, pancreas, the lower intestine, sometimes part of your stomach, although they didn't do that for me, and your gallbladder. And they take the gallbladder completely out, and then they stitch it all back together to make it work again, which is just really fascinating to me. But we were trying to find the best person to do that surgery while we were on vacation. And we were kind of like, should we come back? Should we like shorten our vacation? And the people at Huntsman Institute, Cancer Institute here in Utah were like, absolutely not, never shorten a vacation. So we were like, all right, we're just going to set all this up for right when we come back. So that's what we did. My biggest piece of advice for finding the right team of doctors is to think about what you want for you. For me, we are very lucky in Utah to have the Huntsman Cancer Institute right here. It's only about 30 minutes away. Huntsman is right here and it's fantastic. So that's how we decided to. So really for us, it was convenience. And looking at the doctors, I mean, the doctor credentials were ridiculous at Huntsman, where we were going to go. And we were just like, oh, okay, Dr. Baker, he's got all of these accolades and he really knows what he's doing with this surgery. He's done a lot of Whipples. And then my oncologist, Dr. Gilcrease, has also been doing this for a very long time. And so I felt super confident with my team. I know a ton of doctors, they're so busy and they want to help. So it's not that they don't want to help, it's just trying to squeeze everybody in. And I'm like super positive and high vibe, but the medical system really is broken and there's not enough doctors. And I just feel for them because I know they want to help, but it's just calling and going into the portal and putting in messages. And I just did that because I have a PET scan today, and it wasn't scheduled until the 22nd. And I was like, I don't want to wait until the 22nd. I want to go in today. I want to go in as soon as possible. So I called and just went in the portal and kept bothering them, and just like, not an annoying way, but just advocating for myself. And they were able to get me in today instead. So just keep going, keep asking. For our kids, we told enough. We told them enough. They were 9 and 12 at the time. So we told them enough to make them understand what was going on, that mommy's sick and she's going to have some surgeries and she's going to be doing some other therapies, and life is going to look a little bit different. I'm going to be really tired and we're going to need some help. So we're going to have lots of friends and family around. And that's how we talked to our kids about it. We really didn't leave anything. We didn't really leave anything out. We just didn't tell them quite how severe and um, scary it was, I guess. And I think that was good because they're pretty mellow about it and they know what's going on, but they're still able to live their lives and be happy kids, which is exactly what we wanted. Um, for friends and family, I typically in the past have been very stoic and independent and like, I'll figure this out. I figure out, and that's kind of one of my mottos or um, things that I always say to myself is like, no matter what's going on, I'll figure it out. That's what I do. So, um, with since I'm a professional coach, I instead had to teach myself how to ask for what I needed. And that was really hard because I'm used to, again, doing everything myself. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to. So I had to like talk to my friends and talk to my family. And I had a huge support system. I had that Whipple procedure done. And just that alone was so much work. I had no idea. It was 6 days. It was 6 nights in the hospital, which I'd never stayed in the hospital before for anything. And trying to recover from that surgery, I couldn't even walk to the bathroom. And I'm someone that I live in Park City, I live in the mountains. We hike for 8 miles at a time, no big deal. And I couldn't take 10 steps. And it was really interesting for me to have that kind of pain and that kind of like just inability to move my body when I was so used to being able to move my body. And then it took a long time to recover from that. So they had to wait to do the chemotherapy. So I had my Whipple surgery May 2nd, and then I started chemotherapy and immunotherapy in July 3rd. And when I had my first chemotherapy and immunotherapy, I didn't really know what to expect because I had never been in an infusion room. When I go in for immunotherapy now, I just go in by myself. When I was doing chemotherapy plus immunotherapy, it was a really long day. So I always had friends come in with me, which was awesome because we could catch up and stuff. But for the immunotherapy, it's so quick. It's only like an hour and a half or 2 hours. And I feel pretty good. I drive myself home, and then I might feel like I have like a mild flu the next day, but that's about it. And I'm a really active person. Um, so I think I'm probably about like 80% energy wise of what I normally am. I have a personal coach, which helped me just to talk about what was going on and talk about what was happening emotionally, which seemed really important to me to put names to how I'm feeling and just helping with the isolation. So there's a couple things that I did that were very different that I hadn't heard other people do. For one thing, I didn't call chemo. I called chemotherapy because I wanted to remind myself that it's actually therapeutic. Because when I went in there, I was eating kale salad and I was drinking protein drinks while I was getting my infusion. And I was like, okay, this is like poison going into my body while I'm sitting here eating kale salad. And I really had to work on my mind and be like, okay, this is not poison. This is actually medicine. It's actually therapy that's helping. So getting my mindset on that seemed to really, really help me. Another thing that I did was always have friends come to hang out with me, to make me laugh, to just help with that isolation that I felt when I was home and didn't have anyone around. So having community was really important to me. One other thing I did, actually, two other things I did. I dressed up when I went to my appointments. I didn't look schlubby. I wanted to dress up to feel better. And I felt like if I dressed up, I would like feel more confident. Not only that for self-confident, but that it was going to work. And then I meditated while I was getting the I meditated while I was getting the treatment on how it was working. Every time I had chemotherapy, I went somewhere at sea level. So I went to California. I called my sister and was like, hey, can you meet me in California at the beach? I went to Croatia with friends, which was a trip that we already planned. And that was all sea level. I went to Costa Rica. My daughter was doing a surf and school trip there. And so I went to Costa Rica with her, went to New York a few times. I'm from Seattle, went up to visit my parents in Seattle. Anytime I start to see my mind go to circling the drain, worried about what might happen in the future, worried about my kids, like I bring myself back to the present moment. And like today I feel great. The sun is out and my daughter is doing something in the kitchen. My son's at a lacrosse camp, and like we're all awesome right now. And I feel really good today. And so really it's like staying in the present moment, not future tripping to what might happen. And I talk about it on my podcast. My podcast is called Ambitious-ish. So I'm mainly a coach for high achieving women that are in burnout. And that is a big part of what happened to me, because when you go, go, go all the time and you live a really stressful life, I believe that that is what made me get cancer. What gave me cancer is like just not resting, never sitting down, always on the go, 100% of the time. I didn't even know how to rest. I didn't even know what that looked like, because I would sit down and I would be so uncomfortable and I'd have to be doing something all the time. So just for me, through coaching, what I learned is to take care of myself when I need to rest, when I need to take a break, when I need to go sit in the sauna and meditate or take a nap. Like now I listen to my body. If you get confused about what your next step is and where you want to go, it's just like the answers are all inside of you. And when you take a moment and listen to what is true for you, I do a lot of writing and just write down like, okay, what do I want? What are my hesitations? What am I worried about? And kind of get it all out of my brain and onto paper so that I can like allow my brain to rest and allow my body to rest, and just really understand that I don't have control over everything, but I have control over how I think and feel and act.